Hello, hello. I'm trying to go live with the ring light with the glasses on, so we'll see how it goes. They're giving me a headache bad. I'm trying to power through it because I've never worn glasses before, but like, ooh, it hurts. I've just like throughout the day I've just been like resting my eyes for like 30 minutes at a time or taking a little nappy poo. Haven't really had a chance to go live this week. Hi, how are you? This is an astrology page. Do you know your sun sign? So let's like go like this. Let's like look. Happy birthday, you're a Taurus. How fun. Ooh, cool. How does that Aquarius rising come out for you? I don't know a ton of Aquarius risings, but I'm learning, I'm like meeting more and more of them lately. Oh, thanks for the likes. I appreciate that. Very detached. I feel like they make big changes in their life. Like they like do something totally different than everybody else. Libra Moon craves connection. That's valid. But then like the Libra Moon doesn't really want connection. It wants to like yearn for it, I think, right? Libra Moon needs a lot of space too, I think. Pluto and Saturn in the 10th house. What do you do for work? Nice. Aries, Venus, and Mercury. This is a cool chart, girl. It really depends on the whole chart, White Heart. Who have you tried? Leo, Sun, Virgo, Moon, Sag, Rising. Cool. Do you know your rising sign, White Heart? Do you know what sign is in the 5th or 7th house for you? Yeah, I just feel like Aquarius risings are kind of born to be different. They have important work to do. I'm a Pisces sun and moon and a Leo rising. And I have Venus in Pisces and the North Node in Pisces. What's ending for you, Jen? Are your placements at the early degrees of Gemini? Yeah, I'll be having my nodal return this year. Oh, nice. Hi, Amina. Pisces Venus. I bet it would be hard to have a Pisces Venus daughter. Here's the thing. Both of my daughters have air Venuses, and I'm jealous, okay? I'm jealous of girls that have air Venus. I feel like water Venus is just a lot, and there's a lot of yearning and unrequited love and crying and stress, and obviously those are just like girl experiences, but these air Venuses make it look cute and they move on and they don't get as bogged down in it, and I want that. I wish that was me, okay? I would have a hard time Pisces moon. I'm not sure what that says about me as her mom. Is the moon conjunct the Venus? Are they? Hi, baby. What? Hi, baby. Oh, do you? Thank you. Okay, so not yet. Uranus just entered Gemini, but it's not gonna be crazy for you until later. Yeah. It's at like 0 degrees right now. Hi, baby boy. He's a good boy. No, he's not. He pooped in my bathroom because it was wet outside. So he's actually a criminal. Hello, criminal. Oh, are they conjunct? Yes, they are. I think that's I think that talks about how you taught her how to love everybody. She has a hard time with boundaries, I think. She might have felt really responsible for your feelings when she was young. I use Juno sometimes. In my chart, Juno's conjunct the South Node. Hi. Are you sad about something? Hi. Can I help you? What do you need? And Pisces Venus, they tend to really love damaged people. So that can be hard. That would be hard for me as a mom. I'd be like, why are you hanging out with this broke ass bitch? Pisces with Aquarius, Sun and Venus and Pisces. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to worry as much about like the chemistry in a friendship synastry chart. Maybe you do, dude. Maybe you do. Um, but yeah, you can see how you interact with one another on a friendship chart. I like to read family charts. That's what I like to read in synastry. Hi. Is everything okay with you? Are you saying sorry for pooping in my bathroom? Thank you. I appreciate that because I'm not happy that you did that. So, but I love you. That makes me nervous, Lucky Ann. I think that you can do a lot of work, like healing work and stuff together. Um, I do, actually. But we're not talking about that right now. I have friends that I have 12th house synastry with. I find it triggering sometimes. And I don't think they mean it that way. Like I don't think they mean to trigger me, but I find it triggering. It's complicated. That's how I feel about it. And then with family synastry, I like that because it kind of shows you how I don't know how the people might interact together, what lessons they might learn together. Right. Right. And exactly. That's exactly how I feel about my 12th house industry friends too. I don't know. It's hard because I don't ever know when I'm in somebody's 12th house. Oh, yes, I do. I don't know. As a Pisces, it's always more intense for me. But I think I'm in some people's 12th house because I have some Pisces rising friends. Exactly. What about eighth? I tend to be in people's eighth house when I'm in a romantic relationship with them. Um, I don't have as many friends in my eighth house. What have you been dreaming about? But then again, I only look at charts of people that I'm like super duper close to. I have a lot of Taurus rising friends, and that's because Pisces is in 11th house, right? Ooh, Alexis, that's so interesting. Feels like yearning. Are you a Gemini rising? Is that what you mean? That means Uranus is in your first house, probably. Oh, I don't understand what you mean then. Hi. I'm doing good, and yourself? You gonna come over here, self? Snuffles interrupted my readings like at least 5 times today. And I was like, bro. I said, bro. You might be thinking of Jupiter. Jupiter's in Cancer right now. Uranus is in Gemini. You chose not to sleep all night. Well, that probably wasn't that chill. No, I think those play well together. Kind of counteracts it. I don't. Jupiter will enter Leo, I think, in July, maybe late June. I'd have to get my book and look. I feel like 10th house transits are better for career. An aqua moon, I feel like, plays well with Scorpio stuff. If the parts that would be hard would be that Aquarius, Aquarius wants to stay back and stay neutral on people, stay dispassionate, and Scorpio's not really like that. But in terms of being emo, I think they're both emo. I think they're both alt. That'd be good. Yeah, but it can still make aspects in your chart, Alexis. Aries, if you've got Aries in 10th, then the like Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries are gonna go through the 10th house, and they'll conjunct on your midheaven. That's a big thing. And then if you have placements in like a lot of other signs in the early degrees, it would make aspects with those things, and it would be significant for you. I use Placidus. 12th house suns, it kind of depends for me if the sun is in the same sign as the rising, or if it's in the sign ruling the 12th house. But a lot of times it's identity issues. That person can't see themselves clearly. 12th house sun, sometimes our identity issues are linked back to their relationship with their father. They don't understand who they are because they don't quite see their father clearly either. Either he was absent, or maybe he passed away, or maybe he's just a POS. And when the 12th house sun is in the same sign as the rising, I feel like that person doesn't know themselves very well, but everybody else sees them. Oh yeah, you're good. And then if it's in the sign before, I feel like that person's true nature is hidden even from the people around them. A 12th house sun really needs to have a spiritual practice or have a way to access their subconscious mind, mindfulness, introspection. They have to have a lot of that before they're going to get to know themselves. How would I interpret it? Transiting Saturn entering first house? It will affect me in a year. It really depends. Is your first house, are you an Aries rising? That's fun, Amanda. Did you have one you liked? But smiley face girl, Saturn entering the first house, I mean it can be health. It can be responsibility lessons. Thank you. Thanks, Amanda. Cartoon smiley face boy. Yeah, I've pulled it before. Here, I'm going to read it. Saturn in the first made me espresso depresso and isolate. I wouldn't call it an easy transit. But it depends on the person and it depends on the aspects it's going to make as it goes through there. Hi, Melissa. Oh, thank you, Dax. Scorpio sun, Gemini moon, Virgo rising. Okay. No, detriment and exaltation placements don't equal weaker and stronger at all. So, and then thank you. They're very mild prescription, but I have convergence insufficiency. Thank you. Which is very common in people with ADHD, by the way. And it's gotten worse as I've gotten older. So, no, so, and detriment and exaltation aren't the opposite of one another anyway. So, if a planet is at home, if it's in its domicile, or if it's in its dignity, that it's the planet that rules that sign. Okay, all three of those mean that the planetary ruler for that sign is in its ruling sign. So I usually use domicile because domicile starts with a D, and it's like at home. It helps me remember, and then detriment is the opposite. So if Venus is at home in Libra, in domicile in Libra, then it's in its detriment in Aries. It's opposite sign. If Mars is at home in Aries, if it's in domicile in Aries, then it's in its detriment in Libra. Then exaltation, especially exaltation is not necessarily a great placement. Exaltation to me just means that it's extra strong in the personality, and it's almost like too much sometimes. I feel like exalted planets, the only one that I think is like kind of chill is Saturn. Saturn's exalted in Libra, and I think that's a cool placement. But besides that, I think exalted planets and what is it? What are they called? Luminaries. I feel like it's a lot of energy on that planet. And Yeah, planets in their detriment, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're weak. And then the opposite of exaltation is its fall, is the fall of that planet. So it's domicile and detriment and exaltation and fall. So yeah, Taurus moon is a good example. Taurus moon is exalted. I just think that it's a heavy emphasis on security, emotional security, security at home. It's not necessarily like, oh, that person had a great childhood, or oh, that person is super duper emotionally stable. It's just like this person needs consistency in order to feel emotionally safe, and they'll hold tight onto that. Oh, how awful. I'm sorry to hear that. And then like for me, like you'll hear me in my videos and you'll hear other people copy me in other videos say like, "Oh, I don't know a Taurus moon that's had a stable family life." Cuz I don't. I think it's just a heavy emphasis on emotional safety and security in that person's chart. And it's the same, like my Venus is exalted in Pisces, it's too much. Like you don't need to be able to love anybody and everybody for anything and everything. It's I don't know that it's very healthy to be able to fall in love with like an overturned mop with a bucket for a head. Okay? I don't think you should be able to fall in love with every toxic drug addict, or like it's good to be able to find beauty. Yes, thank you. I'm serious. It's too much. Like, yes, that's cool, but like it's not a great way to live. And then the sun is exalted in Aries. For what? The sun being exalted in Aries just shows like who has a really big ego? Aries. Who thinks they can do everything for no reason? Aries. Who's gonna rush in and burn out too quick? Aries. You know, that's like sun in Aries. It's not like, oh my gosh, that's a great place for the sun. Oh, I dated a guy like that, smiley face, and it was rough for sure. He had Saturn conjunct Venus in Scorpio, strike 3. It was bad. It was really bad. Or like what else is exalted? Mercury is exalted in Virgo. Are they extremely thorough and meticulous? Is the mind constantly working? Yes. Yes. Is that a healthy is that mind a healthy place? No. It isn't. You know, for that mind to be able to work like a steel trap and notice everything all the time, blah 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 blah. Do you think that person is having a good time? Thank you. They're not. You know, so that's, go get it. Mars exalted in Capricorn. Yeah, so Sag Mercury is in its detriment. It's the opposite of Gemini, because Mercury is in its domicile in Gemini, and so it's in its detriment in Sagittarius. And I don't think that's a bad place for Mercury. It does mean certain things. Like the communication can be a little bit tough. I mostly find that Sag Mercuries are like really funny. I think they could be funny for a job even, but it doesn't mean that they're stupid. I know a lot of very smart Sagittarius Mercuries. But yeah, half the time they don't even know what's going to come out of their mouth as it's coming out, and it turns out to be the funniest things I've ever heard. Beautiful. And then Mercury's exalted in Virgo, so it's in its fall in Pisces. And I don't think Pisces Mercury is a poor placement either. They can also be very funny. I wonder if they think more in images than words. Mine's in Aquarius. I love that placement. Yeah, my Mercury's in the late degrees of Aquarius. Is Scorpio Venus a detriment or a fall placement? Yes, because Venus is at home in Taurus. It's in its domicile in Taurus, so it's in its detriment in Scorpio. Yes. So because Venus is about attraction and it's about bringing energy in. How cool, Stephanie. What degree is my Mercury? I think it's 24, but I don't remember for sure. It's close enough to be considered. Maybe it's later than that. Maybe it's 26. No, it can't be 20. It's got to be less than 20 because it's in 6th house. So, and the cusp of the 7th house is at 25 degrees of Aquarius. So it's got to be like 24 or 23. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, Scorpio Venus. They instead of being able to be open in order to attract things to them, they're very closed. And they do really subtle things. Yes, my Mercury's in 6th house. Yes. They'll do really subtle things to kind of sabotage the relationship and ruin things, in my opinion. Oh no, yeah, it's at like 20 some. Yeah. But again, Scorpio Venus isn't necessarily a bad placement. They might be good with money. Actually, I don't know one that's good with money. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, but I don't think that maybe the Scorpio Venus doesn't help. But I know several Scorpio Venuses that are really bad with money, so. Yeah, I'm sorry, Liz. That's the truth, though. That's tough. Or it can be like, oh, I need to hide who I am because of my dad. That can be another one for 12th house suns. Kind of depends on how everything lays in the chart, but Scorpio Saturn at 28 degrees is I don't know. It would be hard to say just based off of that. Your father's sun in the first. Um yeah, Scorpio Saturn is a powerful placement. It can be arrogant and controlling, but a lot of times it's because they really know. How did I get into astrology? My life was low key falling apart, and I was trying to make sense of things. Um, Later, I found out I was trying to make sense of everything that happened during my Saturn return, and then I had a really toxic situationship, and it went so south that I needed to find some spirituality or some shit, and so that was part of it too. But I never did it when I was younger because I didn't feel very Pisces. I would hear things about Pisces and I didn't like what I heard. So I didn't give it any consideration. Oh, thank you. No, I've never dated a Pisces. This man was a Scorpio. This man was a Scorpio with a Taurus rising. Nice. Cool. Oh, thanks, Liz. And then my kids were kind of interested in it, and I started to look into it, and I was like, oh, this describes my kids. Like, okay. Just because it didn't describe me. And then I started looking more into it. I was like, oh, this tracks. I'll use something if it tracks. I don't care. You know, I don't know where I'm at with like what I believe necessarily, but you don't have to believe anything to do astrology. You don't have to subscribe to a belief system. You need to learn it and then see if it bears out in your life. And if it tracks, it tracks. You can use it. Do my kids have my same patterns? Their patterns really follow a lot of what their dad's chart is like. We're divorced, but I think it's interesting to find where my planets fall in their chart. Oh, cool. I use Placidus. Like for one of my daughters, my Pisces placements fall in her 10th house. So it talks about me putting a lot of expectation on her, right? Me really carrying a lot of, like, helping her with her public image, figuring out what she's going to do in life, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't co-host. Don't ask me. And then my other daughter, my Pisces placements fall in her 4th house, with her Chiron and her Neptune. So could be about spiritual healing, could be about role confusion, because she tends to be the mom. I have 5th house Scorpio stellium. My son has a Pisces 5th house stellium. That's cool. I love that. I love that. Yeah, my older daughter, a lot of her placements are similar to her dad's. It's not bad per se. What is your relationship like with your siblings? You have a lot of karma with them. Yeah, and both of my daughters, my older daughter has more water in her chart, but they both have a decent amount of, well, yeah, my older daughter is a Sag sun and a Cancer moon and a Cancer rising. And my younger daughter is a Cancer sun and a Leo moon and a Scorpio rising. And then their dad is a Sag sun and a Cancer moon and a Leo rising. And then I'm a Pisces sun, a moon, and a Leo rising. Interesting. No, when you're looking at degrees, 0 degree is a very strong influence. When a planet first enters a sign, it's like the most intense energy. It's a new energy for that planet in evolutionary astrology. And then when you see a planet that's at 29 degrees, especially if it's retrograde or if something's retrograded back to 0 degrees, it's like, oh, this is very important in this chart. This planet retrograded back to this position, and then this person was born because they need to try again on this energy or this lesson around this planet. It affects the rising sign, and it can affect a lot because each rising sign has a different planetary ruler, so it places different emphasis on different things in the chart. Oh, that's fun, Alexis. I don't think so. Let me pin this. Sun and moon at 0 degrees should say it has influence from the previous sign. I would say no. Some people subscribe to cusps. I don't think that's accurate. I don't see cusps playing out in transits. Like, I don't think so. I would say no. But other people will read for cusps and will say, oh yeah, if you have something at 0 degrees, it still has a lot of elements of the previous sign. I think that can be explained by like looking at the whole chart usually. So I would say no. What do you think, Brandy? Do you feel like you have energy from both signs? But I don't see, there's neighboring signs that are so different from one another. I don't see the energy bleeding together. I can see that more for houses. You know, there's ways that 7th house themes bleed into 8th house themes, and there's ways that 8th house kind of bleeds into 9th house. There's ways that 1st house themes kind of bleed into 2nd house. I can see more like more like spectrum in the houses, and house systems are arbitrary. So like I see more wiggle room on that, but I don't really, I haven't really seen it for signs themselves. Do you have planets in Sagittarius, Aida? That's another, yeah, Scorpio and Libra are very different in terms of their energy. Rectification is when somebody goes through, you like give them a lot of information about when events happened in your life and stuff, and they figure out what time you were born. Hi, Luna. Seventh house, Scorpio sun, moon, Saturn, but sun and moon are in Sag, technically 0 degrees. So you're not a Scorpio sun, you're a Sagittarius sun and moon. Were you raised religious? You have a Sagittarius sun and moon conjunct a Scorpio Saturn. To me, that talks about well, they look at all of it, Alexis, yes, but they'll figure out what time you were born. Brandy, that sounds like kind of a religious chart to me. That's a lot of restriction. That's a lot of karma from your mom and your dad. What house are they in? What house are they in? But you don't have a technically if the sun and the moon. Oh, they're in. You're told me that. I'm sorry. Um. So is the seventh house ruler Scorpio? So you're a Taurus rising. Is that right? Yeah, I do. I would say yes. I would say yes. I work in healthcare. I don't have a lot of sixth house placements. Sag is the eighth house. Yeah, I would say that Scorpio Saturn has a heavy restriction on that Sagittarius sun and moon. But Sagittarius wants growth. They want new experiences. They want freedom. Um, there's a decent amount of chaos. There's a decent amount of doing things on a whim. But with the Scorpio Saturn there, it's restricted. My goodness, this moon. I like to do career readings. You could join the wait list if you wanted. What could a Pluto in the sixth house transit entail? It really depends. Changes to the daily routines at the very least. It really depends. Taurus moon, fourth house. Right, but do you have any Sagittarius placements, Aida? Do you have anything in Sag? Okay. Where is Saturn in your chart, Aida? Saturn and Moon conjunct in Sagittarius. That's a religious upbringing, often. It's a nice place, definitely. Saturn and Taurus in fifth house. Okay, I see. I mean, if you feel like you've got elements of both signs in your rising, I'm not gonna tell you you don't. I don't think that kind of thing's right when people will come and be like, you don't know any, you don't know about yourself. Like, I'm not the expert on you. So if you say like, hey, like I've got 0 degrees of rising and I feel like I have elements of both signs, that's that's up to you. Saturn and Gemini in 10th house. Nice. Do you have a information based job? I'd be interested to know. Also have Jupiter in fifth. Nice. Yes. Planets yes. In my chart in Placidus, my Pluto is in Scorpio conjunct the IC line on the third house side. Thank you, Funky Solution. Legal operations, nice. I've heard a lot about Scorpio Sun, rising Venus, but what are your thoughts on Mercury? So Mercury as a planet is your logical mind, and it's the way that you think and the way that you process information and the way that you determine what information is important and relevant to your life. And having Mercury in Scorpio, I have found, and it's also the way that you communicate. And Mercury in Scorpio tends to, I feel like they are very measured. I feel like they're watchers. I feel like they assess before they come right out and say what they're going to say. They think a lot about what they're going to say. I think that they can have a good financial sense. Isn't it so much fun to geek out on astrology? Thanks for being here, Alexis. And then it kind of depends on how much other Scorpio that person has in the chart. I don't know if they do as much testing as other Mercury placement or other Scorpio placements. They may. I know a girl that is a Gemini rising with a Mercury in Scorpio, and she is talky, 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 but I also know that she would definitely Scorpio sting you, but she's a Scorpio sun, so. But then I know a Libra sun with a Scorpio Mercury, and that's just not her. That's not her vibe. But yeah, I don't see them as much. At first I thought that they would be ones that would say mean stuff, like do that Scorpio sting, and I haven't really seen that with Scorpio Mercury, especially when it's by itself. I see it as calculated, and I see it as like noticers of people and people who clock behavior from others, and that's the information that they catalog. Both are very important, Aida. So you want to, I feel like aspects are communication between the planets, but the sign it's in is the energy that planet is infused in. Ooh, how do they even get married, smiley face guy? A Scorpio Mercury in fifth will be different than a Mercury in eighth house. Yes, it will. Um, it will. There's commonalities between the two though, for sure. I definitely learned by grouping like Scorpio and eighth house together. I think they are they both, are they a Taurus and a Libra? Is that what it is? I feel like a Libra parent thinks that they can buy you off. That's the main issue that I have with Libra as a parent, is that they don't really want to take the time to sit with your emotions because they don't sit with their own sometimes, and they want to yeah, I have a Libra mom too, so I have expertise on this. They can't sit and process. Yeah, it helps you organize it for sure. Both your parents are Cancer Sun and Virgo rising. I'll pray for you. That's crazy. But yeah, I feel like the Libra mother like kind of wants to buy you off, wants to like both your parents are Scorpios. My God, what are you guys doing? How are you guys here? Holy beans, that's crazy. Thanks for the likes. I appreciate that. That's crazy. But the Libra mom loves you, but she also loves you sometimes, like, hi. I think it could just be hard for them to sit with your emotions. Like when the emotions are uncomfortable, it's hard for the Libra. Thanks, Jennifer. We're talking about how Libras want to fix everything with shopping. One astrologer told me that once that I could be the reason for my mother's heart health problems. Okay, well, well, that person was a loser. Get real. I requested my time off at work, Jen. I need to get my car fixed before it takes a long trip. Hi, Stephanie. I'm glad you landed here too. Yeah, the Aries moon, Liz. Yeah, the Aries moon, I would say. Yeah, we'll see. I gotta get the part. One crisis at a time. I don't know how I think the glasses are cute. I've never had glasses before. They're giving me a headache for real. I think your moon sign is how you perceive your mother. It's not the same. To me, it's not the same thing. This was like an important distinction that I had to make for myself because, like, I was studying my kids' astrology. Yeah, but I only got them like yesterday. I've never worn glasses before. What was I saying? Yeah, I think that your moon sign talks about how you see your mother. It doesn't necessarily talk about how she is. It's about like how you, yeah, they're a mild prescription. They have prism in them so that because my eyes don't converge the way they're supposed to. Does she have placements in Cancer? Funky solution. Where's your moon again, Alexis? Thank you. Gemini moon in the 10th. That's a mentally ill mother that was on display for everybody, possibly. Oh, and it's in 4th house, Alexis, right? And this Alexis is a Sag moon. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Taurus moon in 11th house would probably talk about a mother. Yeah, well, that's okay. You're good. Why do you think Gemini sun has a bad reputation? Are you a Gemini sun? I think you already know why. A Taurus moon in 11th house is really looking for a stable friend group. And I would probably look at the aspects that that moon makes in order to get more information about the mama. No, pass. But there's two Alexises. Sag moon in the 10th house is was your mother a teacher? Was she religious? Was she like a hippie? However she was, everybody knew. Okay. And she was very prominent in the community as a religious person. Everybody knew that your mom was religious. Saturn 8th house. Okay. Sag sun, Scorpio moon, Pisces ascending, Capricorn Venus, send help. You're beyond help. Yeah. That's such a serious Sagittarius. How did you even get into astrology? If I had that chart, I'd be like, I'm not a Sagittarius anything. They're supposed to be goofy weirdos. And I am morose and want to cry all the time. Thanks for the likes. What happens to Capricorns when? I feel like Capricorns... Oh, most of the chart you have is Sag. Okay, good. What happens to Capricorns? I think they age in reverse. How do I make my husband not have an Aqua Venus? Divorce him? Get a new one? Throw the whole man out? I feel like my Aquarius moon is fighting demons between my Scorpio sun and rising. That's a tough spot where you want to be detached and you want to be obsessed. Cancer sun. Okay, so yeah, I don't know anything about Vedic. Yeah, how do you make your husband not have an Aqua Venus? You'd have to get a new one. Yeah, they can. Where is Saturn again? In that chart, Alexis, Saturn is your chart ruler. I don't want to. I'm not somebody who like talks crap about Vedic astrology. I don't know enough about it to know anything. Good, he pays for your nails. Yeah, he can still do that though if y'all divorce. Why are Capricorns the way that they are? Why are Capricorn men the way that they are? Because they're Saturn ruled, and they think they know best, and then when they're too tired of working, they party really hard so they don't have to like process anything. Both my parents are Aquarius suns. My mom's a Virgo moon, and my dad's a Gemini moon. I'm a Gemini rising. Isn't that cool? Yeah, they low key are. But all the ones that I know party. All the Capricorns I know, they know how to party. Maybe they don't do it anymore. Maybe they don't do it as much as they used to. But I don't know a Capricorn that doesn't know how to party. Gemini sun, Aquarius rising, Pisces moon. I mean, you could, with that chart, you could be. Does your brother party? A lot of people got mad when I said that I don't know a Capricorn that doesn't know how to. They're like, I don't know any. They're like, Capricorns aren't supposed to party. It's like, yeah, but they do. Oh, I didn't read it. That's your chart ruler. It's talking about your main thing wanting stability in your family. Like if you had Saturn in fourth house in Taurus, it's like you had to provide the stability to your family. Libra sun and Leo moon. I think that she's that girl. I bet she's extra. What the heck? See, that's what I'm saying. Work hard, play hard. Probably playing a little too hard. Virgo fourth house Saturn is that your parents expected a lot out of you and you felt like you had to be perfect. I get that. Yeah, maybe they are. Yeah, I mean, men are avoidant. So, what about my chart? Five signs in my seventh house. That's a lot. Yeah, and that's your chart ruler, Alexis. So, that your whole personality is filtered through that. It depends on the signs, but it can be hard for you to see yourself clearly. I think it'd be really hard for you to see how self-centered you are with that. It would be hard for you to really see the Leo parts of your personality. I like moon trine Pluto. My moon trines my Pluto. You would look at the planetary rulers for those houses, Stephanie. If you're looking at your career, though, I look at second house and 10th house and sixth house and the rulers. So yeah, if you have no planets there, you look at the zodiac sign and look at the planetary ruler. Yes, yes, absolutely. Look at the midheaven. In Placidus, the midheaven is the cusp of the 10th house. You're welcome. So the nodes of the moon they're an axis. So I look at it as the flow of energy through the chart. It's what your soul, it's the type of energy your soul's wanting to take in this life, but it's more about the flow of it and the rhythm of it rather than like a destination. That's how I would describe the North Node. It's not necessarily like, oh, like this is the pinnacle of your achievement. It's more about this is what we're reaching toward. This is the type of energy we're trying to take in. What might indicate impulsive spending, shopping addiction in a chart? Probably Libra and Sagittarius placements together. Taurus, Venus with a bunch of Gemini placements. I wish I was a Scorpio sun. You too, me. Jupiter in 8th house, a lot of luck. That can be that can be an inheritance placement. Yeah. Again, depending on the signs. That can be an investment placement as well. Ojalá. I hope that for you. Wow, like water signs. I'm a Pisces. Nice. Stellium's in 10th, 5th, and 7th. That's a lot. Very other people oriented chart, public image oriented chart. Kind of depends on what aspects it makes, Amanda. Aquarius, Jupiter in 6th house is somebody who might need a I don't know what that was. I just heard something. The 6th. Yeah, March 6th. Aquarius, Jupiter in 6th is going to be somebody who wants to deal with like information or technology, possibly pushing the envelope, innovating at work, and will have a good reputation at work for being able to do those things. That's cool. You'll be able to figure out aspects. Just give yourself time. Cap rising and Leo North Node in 7th house. How am I supposed to lean into the spotlight? Where is your sun at, Alexis? Because if you have a Leo North Node, then the sun is the ruler of that North Node. And I would say that it's probably about allowing yourself to be seen. Sun in Scorpio in 10th house. Girl. That is talking about you allowing yourself to actually be seen in a relationship, like in a partnership. Actually opening up and being vulnerable. Stop playing games. And really like opening yourself up to be loved and accepted. So good luck. I'm glad that's not my North Node. Peace out. Just kidding. My North Node's in Pisces in 7th. That means your south node is in Aquarius and you're kind of used to being by yourself. You're a lot more comfortable being in your own space, your own, like, your safety is like space. Saturn, 8th house, Pisces. That's a lot of karma around being able to access the spiritual realm, I think. If your MC is also your south, is the south node on the 9th house side or the 10th house side? Because that changes it for me. 9th house side, north node, Leo, 3rd house. I would say that your public image, with Aquarius, 9th house, south node, I think you're very comfortable in an energy of being on the outs. Thank you. Thank you so much for your career. Like, your public image is kind of based around being the odd man out regarding your beliefs. What do you think it is, Alexis? Take a guess. South node in Aquarius in 9th is you, like, standing apart in your energy and in your attitudes around education and around beliefs. I am a Pisces. And being very staunch in that and kind of like pushing against people with that. And the north node in Leo in 3rd. What was your sun sign again? Oh, thank you. Oh my God. Put everything in the thing. Put the thing on the thing. Let's see. Pisces in 10th house at 28 degrees. So I think it's talking about learning. It's like finding acceptance, probably in a spiritual space and in your local community. Oh, thank you, Paul Linz Paul. So Stephanie, that's what I would say. The north node in 3rd house is about finding community, and in Pisces, it's about, since the sun is in Pisces, it's kind of about finding a spiritual community and finding acceptance in a local community, in friendships, possibly in your sibling relationships. I'm a Pisces moon and a Leo rising. Yeah, I'm a Pisces. Yes, I'm a Pisces sun and moon and a Leo rising. You knew it. How did you know? Thank you so much. It's a mess. All about Alexis. I'll start saying all about Alexis for you. My Pisces, I was born the day before an eclipse, so my Pisces moon is conjunct my north node. It's a mess. It's in 7th house, and I don't exactly know what I'm supposed to be doing with it. It's about, I think it's about moving through, like, my feelings with my mother in order to become more healthy and less rigid around relationships, and being more comfortable, leaving things more open-ended in my partnerships, and working through my family trauma in order to do that. That's what I think. Yeah. Yeah, I tend to be very gender neutral. What's your take on having Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter all in Libra? I think you were born in the 80s. It would depend on the house. This is so fun to have everybody here. Thanks for being here, guys. I don't personally, like, I wouldn't consider Chiron and stellium either. Yeah, all about Alexis. The best way to start learning more about astrology is just looking at everybody's charts that will let you. Like, look at your kids' charts, look at your mom's chart, look at your partner's chart, look at your anybody's chart. Well, if the Pluto's in Libra and all those things are in Libra, it's giving early 80s. I think Pluto entered Scorpio in like 84. I know a guy that was born in 82 and his moon was right between the Saturn and the Pluto. Isn't that horrible? Can you believe that? And then his Mars was in Libra too, right conjunct there too. It was a mess. I was like, oh my God. Horrible. Well, he wasn't a Libra, he was a Leo, but he had his moon in Libra between that Pluto and that Saturn in Libra for those early 80s. And then I think Mars was in Libra there as well. And I was like, oh my God. Girl, how do I even find out? I say, hey, I'm looking at astrology. Can we look at your astrology chart? Do you know what time you're born? Oh, like for a boyfriend? I just ask him. I Men are dumb and uh they ones who like witchy girls, they'll give it to you. Like after a minute they will. I like astrology, and if I'm not, do I think that astrology is giving away your power in terms of what? I don't think so. Yeah, they like it, and they're gonna project onto you anyway. So I'm gonna get the chart. I do get stressed out when a rising's at like 0 degrees or 29 degrees, because it's true that it's like, how can you really know if that's correct? If you're finding that astrology is like stressing you out, or that it's not providing, if studying it's like freaking you out, take a break. Don't put yourself through it. Because I get that. When I looked at my kids' charts, like I kind of had a panic attack. I was stressed myself out about it really bad, and um, like that can't be the vibe. Right. And so that kind of just showed me like something that I needed to work on in terms of my own stuff with making sure I was raising my kids correctly. Because it's always kind of disheartening when you see kind of traumatic stuff in your kid's chart. You're like, damn. But like, it's a little bit For me, it becomes a little bit easier when it's like, look, like this is, it's not like you did this. This is just this person. This is just kind of a map of this person's life. And your child is their own person and their own soul. And you have a certain role, very important role to play in how this might go and guiding them through these things, but it's not like your fault. Yikes placements for kids. If I make this into a video later, you guys are like, everybody's going to eat me alive. There's no specific, like, this is a horrible placement, everything's a horrible placement for kids. The things that I look at when I see them in charts, and I'm like, oh shoot, it's like 12th house sun in Scorpio conjunct Pluto, Saturn in the 4th house, Pluto in the 4th house, Mars and Pluto in the 4th house, Scorpio moon, conjunct Saturn or squared by Saturn or conjunct Pluto in the 4th house. If somebody has a 4th house stellium and Pluto is at the very lowest degree of that 4th house stellium, that person had a really traumatic childhood. That would freak me out. If I had a baby and then looked at that, I'd be like, oh shit. Planets in retrograde bad? Not necessarily, but it is a certain emphasis on learning the lesson around those things, or you having to learn that kind of by yourself or like internally rather than having external things happen to you in order to learn the lessons around that planet. My ex-husband's a Sagittarius, and no, I did not believe in astrology when I got married to him, but when I look back through everything, it made a lot of sense that we got married. See, and so like that's not how you should think about it. That your baby's a cycle breaker. Okay? Like, having Pluto in the 4th house means that baby's a cycle breaker. And how are you going to help her break the family cycles? So it's either like, are you going to be part of the problem or part of the solution? That's kind of how you have to look at it with a chart like that. She has a certain role to play, and it's kind of up to you whether you're going to like help her with that. Is she going to help heal your generational trauma? Right? Are you going to allow her to do that? Are you going to allow her to transform the family situation? And so it doesn't really have anything to do with you as a mom. It has everything to do with her role in this life and in your life. And that's kind of how you have to look at it. You're welcome. Because yeah, I freaked out because one of my kids has Chiron in 4th conjunct Neptune, and they're both conjunct my sun in Pisces. Okay, so like, and my other daughter has Saturn in 4th, and it's unaspected, which really freaked me out because how am I supposed to figure out what that's about and what I should do different? So yeah, it's not great. So those aren't necessarily bad placements per se. When I see them in charts, though, I'm like, ooh, there's a lot of family lessons in this chart. This is a kid who feels like really pressed on by their family, especially like with Saturn in 4th. It's like, oh, this kid feels the weight of these expectations. No, she's not. My daughter, no. No, she's not at all. So it has more to do with how she feels in the family rather than how I actually am, right? Like, she feels like any little thing is going to make her feel very pressed with expectations from me. She really feels the weight of that with a Saturn in 4th house. Does it mean that I'm an ogre? Maybe. But it doesn't have to mean that I'm an ogre and an overbearing, like, like strict mom. She does perceive me that way, and it's important for me to understand that. Shed, can we shed what? Yeah, sometimes the cycle breaking might be that you break contact with the family. But for M, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It's either like we can support this child in this journey that they're on in this life, or you can fight it, and then yeah, you might get cut off because they're a change maker. It's let go of the old or be dragged. Yeah, so if your daughter has a Virgo moon in 12th, it would really depend on the aspects it makes. But she might see you as kind of a mystery. She she might have a hard time accessing her emotions because she's wanting to please you, right? Because she holds herself to really high standards because she perceives you to have very high standards and a meticulous quality to like your relationship with her. Is it true that you do that? You know, maybe not. That's how she sees it though. And so it's important for you to understand how she sees you. Does that make sense? You're welcome. Oh, thank you. Because that's how I've had it. It's like, okay, well, is it true that I'm a bad mom? I mean, you just need to understand how your kid's going to perceive you and where their like sensitivities may lie, and that you occupy a certain role for them, and it helps you kind of map out maybe where their vulnerabilities are at, because your child doesn't need the same things that you needed as a child. And I think that's where a lot of us start as parents. Like you start with, oh, like I'm going to raise my kids so different. And I'm sorry, I got a text and it threw me off. You start out as a parent being like, oh, like I'm gonna be a parent and I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z so different for my kids, and then you get to parenting and they don't need the same things that you need. Cancer, Capricorn moon with Lilith in 12th house, Cancer. Capricorn moon can go a couple of different ways. At the very least, I feel like the mother set high expectations around work ethic. So yeah, understanding the child's moon sign and their relationship to their family and how they perceive you is going to help you be a better parent. You may take it kind of personal if you see their chart and see a lot of harsh aspects on the moon and whatever, and like Saturn on the moon, whatever. Okay, like it's valid to get your feelings hurt, but also like, okay, that's how they see you. Are you doing something wrong? Wrong is subjective. But how can you use this information to show up for the child in the way that they need you to show up? Yeah, I can't control when they're born. They're born when they're supposed to be born. I have not read Inner Sky. Hey yo, this full moon has been rough. I'm gonna get off here in just a second though. Dally, how are things going with that guy? Since you're here. You're welcome. It's just getting late. I got a text from my daughter. Oh, Dally, no. She says, I can fix him. No, he is gonna run you ragged. Dally, no. Does he have you chasing him? He has no interest in fixing his life. No, Dally, no. I know. I'm going to repost the video that I made about that. I'm going to put it on my story just to remind everybody. I'm telling you, that guy has the same placements as my mom, and I'm telling you right now. Okay. Have a good night, you guys. I hope you're doing well, girl. We'll see you, okay? Live your life. You're grown. You get to do what you want to do.